Am I the asshole for not wanting to be in a child's life that I gave birth to? Background: my best friends couldn't have children. The risk of her death was too high and she already was having fertility problems. So long story short, I agreed to be her family surrogate mostly due to the fact that she was my best friend. I cannot stand her husband though. The only reason I did this was for her. So I became pregnant with their child and everything went smoothly. There was a contract in place that I wouldn't be financially responsible for the kid and so on. It was a pretty standard contract. Well, that was 6 years ago and my best friend died. Due to the 2020 plague, I wasn't able to attend her funeral. Her husband has been calling me recently that I should step up as the kid's mother because I did give birth to her. He keeps calling that I need to be in his daughter's life. After declining multiple times, I finally told him that that kid isn't mine even though I gave birth to her. That I have no obligation to do jack shit and that I'm not going to replace my best friend as her mother. He called me an asshole and going to get his lawyer involved. So am I the asshole?
You're not the asshole. Let him get his lawyer. He doesn't have a legal leg to stand on. I am really sorry you're going through this. Keep records of your conversations in case you need to get a no-contact order.
Most def not the asshole. This guy sounds like he's wanting someone to do all the work for him and he's OBV not the best guy based on your judgment of him. He can get all the lawyers involved that he wants. A contract is binding. He needs to be the one to step up, not the asshole.
Not the asshole that baby had a mother, and she passed away.
Not the asshole. That is not your child. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Not the asshole. You made your position and thoughts crystal clear when becoming a surrogate. You didn't want the child, and you don't want to be in the child's life now. It's not something that was suddenly sprung on the father out of nowhere. It would be much better for the child to have only one parent that loves them, than having one parent that loves them and one that resents them, too.
Not the asshole. He's just freaked out about not having a mother around. Y'all had an agreement, a contract. You helped your friend Rip, and they're so. In no way are you obligated to do any more than you agreed to.
Info: none of the genetic material came from you. Not the asshole you surrogated. The child is not yours. You are not her mother was her mother. And let him get his lawyer involved. He's got nothing on his side, you have a contract. He just wants to not be responsible for his kid. Otherwise, why push to have you in his kid's life, if not to force unwanted responsibility on you that was agreed upon that you wouldn't have?
Not the asshole. However, get your own lawyer. Within the US, surrogacy laws vary greatly from state to state. And that doesn't even start to cover the issues in other countries. And sometimes those laws only cover issues at the time of pregnancy and birth, but not later issues that may fall under the best interest of the child standard. If you wait for him to come at you with a lawyer, you're letting him take control of the way that this plays out. If you talk to a lawyer first, you'll know better what your rights are in your state, and when his side is making a valid legal claim versus trying to bluff you into something you don't want. OMG, no, not the asshole, and that lawyer thing is not gonna work out for him. The dad needs to accept he's going to have to actually learn how to be a father.
First of all, I am sorry for your loss. Losing your friend, especially with everything else that is going on, is very difficult. Secondly, not the asshole. You did something amazingly kind for your friend and her husband and made it very well known that you did not want to be responsible for the kid, going so far as to draw up a contract. It is not your fault that he has not figured out how to parent by himself. Don't let him bully you into doing something that you don't want to.
Not the asshole. These stories discourage other women from giving the gift of surrogacy. This guy is doing a big disservice to infertile couples.
Not the asshole. You were a surrogate and fulfilled your contracted obligation. You didn't sign up to be a parent. They did. He is the father. He can figure it out. I would block his number and forget him.
Not the asshole, not your kid. I'd almost dare him to sue you. It'd get laughed out of court.
Nope, not the asshole. You did them a gigantic service. Dad is the sole remaining parent. He needs to get over himself and do the job.
Not the asshole. Get that contract out and read it. Make sure that you did sign off on all of your parental rights. Then get a hold of an attorney to consult with. While you may not have to hire an attorney, it is good to have one ready who knows just enough details to be able to defend you in court if he really does go through and tries to sue you. And that leads to the next question: sue you for what? To force you to go against the contract? Or to try to get child support from you, when you signed away your parental obligations and gave it all up? In short, it is a bluff, but one you need to be ready to call. Block his number and contact on all social media.
Not the asshole. In this baby triangle, you were nothing more than a tank to hold a fetus until it was capable of sustaining itself, so to say. Now granted that yes, it would be the nice thing to do since the mother was your best friend, you have no obligation to him or her, seeing that you have not a shred of DNA in common with the kid.
Not the asshole, and he doesn't have a legal leg to stand on if there was a surrogate contract in place. If he continues to contact you, you should seek a restraining order. On top of your grief, you shouldn't have to deal with this BS.
Not the asshole at all, but I feel like it needs to be said. Is the child safe? Their mother just died and their father is trying to basically pawn of their child on you. Is there anyone within your best friend's family that you can call to alert them that something is wrong? Obviously you're under no obligation to be a parental figure to the child, but it is still your best friend's child and they sound like they are incredibly at risk for being abused and neglected by their father. If I were you, I'd maybe be calling your best friend's parents and seeing if they can arrange to care for the child for a time while he figures shit out.
Not the asshole. Dad's struggling, I am sure, but he doesn't get to make it your problem because you were nice enough to help him and his wife have a baby.
Not the asshole. I'm so sorry for the loss of your friend. Her husband is probably just freaking out about having to raise a child alone, but that doesn't mean he gets to draft you as the new mom, especially when you did a tremendous favor by acting as a surrogate. I am incredibly sorry for your loss. You have absolutely zero obligation to the child or the husband. You are not the asshole at all. That being said, my best friend is my person. We would do anything for each other, and if need be, I would carry her child as well. It is well understood to everyone around us, my husband, my mother, all of our friends, that if anything were to happen to me, I want my best friend to be my kid's surrogate mother. Husband and obligations aside, you are the closest thing that child has to her mother. You are the person her mother chose to carry her. She chose to have you as her best friend. You were a choice, not an obligation. It would be nice if you chose on your terms to still be a part of that child's life so that she can know her mother through you.
This legally has no room to stand on. He is wasting his time. You did what you were hired to do. End of story.
I'm sorry you lost your friend. Your gift to her is a beautiful thing, and I'm sorry her husband is trying to force you into this. Hopefully, when her child is older, you can tell her about your friend. Not the asshole. It's not your kid, and no court is going to make you be the mom. He's just threatening you to scare you into helping him.
Not the asshole. There was and is a contract. Your best friend's passing doesn't change that he legally the father. Stand firm.
He called me an asshole and going to get his lawyer involved. Good luck on that. There was a contract and the child is biologically not yours. That'll be a massively difficult push on his part. No, you're not tar. You didn't abandon a child to the system or dump them on a family member. You fulfilled a service for a friend, and then moved on. Cold as that sounds, you aren't the child's mother if you've not filled that role in 6 years of their life. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Sad all around. But definitely not the asshole.
Lol, he can go fuck himself. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. You literally just hosted a party for 9 months in your stomach. You did it for your best friend and her husband to have a child. That kid ain't yours even if you did give birth to it. It's your best friend and her husband's kid. Record and screenshot everything.
Holy. Not the asshole. I think it's very bizarre that he wants you to step in. It's probably just him not wanting to step up, but it carries a very creepy vibe. If you're not close to the kid as mom's friend, cut that dude off and let him be a father. You already signed the contract releasing you of financial requirements. His lawyer can't do anything. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. I'm guessing that he's not happy about having all the responsibilities that come with raising a child by yourself, and so now he's all about getting help however he can. In fact, I'd go so far as to look into getting a no-contact order if possible.
Not the asshole, and a lawyer can't do doodle here, not how law works.
Not the asshole. How convenient for him to just make any random woman responsible at any random time for his child. For free, smart-ass jackass he is. Even if he had legal backing, does he not feel ashamed to even think this? I would shame him till he would pay me to not talk about this to his friends and family. Not the asshole. Keep in mind he is probably grieving and grasping at straws to save his now broken family. Hopefully he has family to help him through this tough time. That being said, you're under no obligation to come to his rescue.
If you signed legal documents saying that you're not gonna be financially responsible and so on, then not the asshole, and you don't owe him jack shit. Not the asshole, but check your local laws.
First, I am so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to lose someone and not be able to attend their funeral. I wish you peace and healing. Secondly, you are NTA. The father is most definitely struggling and is in need of support, but he is going the wrong way about it. You are not the child's mother and have no legal nor parental responsibilities over them. Let him get his lawyer involved. He hasn't got a case.
Not the asshole. Tell him that you are not his servant.
Not the asshole. He doesn't want to parent a kid alone. That's understandable. It's hard, expensive, and scary. But it's also not your responsibility. He signed up to be a parent. You signed up to be an incubator. And you don't even like him, so why would you tie yourself into his life indefinitely by parenting his kid?
He called me an asshole and going to get his lawyer involved. To do what? I can't see how you as a surrogate would be compelled to pay child support, and no court on earth could compel you to be present in her life if you don't want to. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Let him, and they will tell him the same thing. You have zero obligation to the child.
Not the asshole. He doesn't have a leg to stand on either. Even if you were bio mom, no one can force anyone to be in someone's life. Most they can do is order a CP payment on a bio parent. You are not bio. You also have that contract of zero responsibility. Let him waste his money.
Not the asshole. Get a lawyer, and if he won't stop his harassment, then get your lawyer involved. He is just probably scared being a single dad and thinks that you are next logical mother. Don't give in and make sure to cover your own butt.
Not the asshole. This child is not your bio daughter. You were a surrogate for them and signed away any rights you might have had to the child. It is unfortunate that the child's mother died, but she is not your child and he cannot legally compel you to do anything. Your friend's husband is the I'm sorry that you lost your best friend and that her child lost her mother. Not the asshole. You have no DNA in common with the kid. Either he is grieving poorly or he doesn't want to be responsible for the kid, neither of which is your concern. Not the asshole. I think it was great you were a surrogate. You have a legal contract that releases you from any obligation. I assume that you and the child know each other. And I fully respect your choice to not want to take responsibility for raising a child. I am 100% CF and don't even want to date single dads. I can definitely understand why raising someone else's child isn't what you want. And that's okay. It would, however, be nice if you are able to be a part of the kid's life from a cool aunt or family friend standpoint, though. You can help keep her mother's memory alive, as you are someone who knew her mom really well.
Info: you were just the oven right. It was their bun. If you have no genetic connection to this child, you don't have any financial obligation.
Not the asshole. The child was not made from your eggs, so it's not yours and you have no legal responsibility for it.
Not the asshole. But this is something that you should discuss with a lawyer. I don't know the law in your country nor the terms and conditions of the contract that you signed.